Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week. Oh, we shut off a fountain last time.
It was spewing ghosts. It was
Yes.
a bad
Wow.
fountain.
Yes.
Ghost Fountain.
What else did we do, Rodrigo?
What else did you do?
Oh, didn't we find some frozen halflings?
Yeah, they've been
frozen
frozen
halfling.
presumably by the horrible specter things that were spewing out of the fountain. Because they were making more specters.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
What
And then
else?
there was something about toads.
Was last time when we figured out that this place isn't entirely linear.
Possibly the time before
two
that.
times
Well,
before.
Yeah. Episode wise, it was probably 2 episodes ago, but session wise, it was the last one.
This whole island is evil.
It's not great.
The island's not evil.
Yeah, I mean, the island is confusing and it is infested with evil.
Yes.
If I go north and end up in the south, the island is evil. That's just a rule.
The island is no more evil than the Feywild.
But you
And
said
we
the
all know
Feywild
my
was evil
thoughts
for
on
like
the
2 whole
Feywild.
seasons.
His character did. Rob actually loves the Feywild.
Oh. Right.
Mm,
If you ever read his blog, you would know that.
Anyway, hey, we turned off a fountain.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
we did do that.
And I think
Good
we're
job.
continuing to rush towards the tower.
Mm-hmm. Or rush as best we can. But
Yes.
Do we have
Probably
time
in a
for a short
non-linear
rest or
fashion.
anything?
You do have the ability to take a short rest.
Oh, good.
Yay.
So,
Which means that we milestone, right?
yep, you hit a milestone.
And get
But
an
we
action point?
milestone
So-
before the short rest, technically.
Sure.
So everybody gets an action point,
Okay.
and your encounter powers come back, and you can spend healing surges.
Cool. I'm going to have to do 2 surges to get back to full power.
I am only going to need to do one, I think. Let's see.
You may not have gotten Wraith nuked as much as I did.
I did not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that
I only
even
need
got
one, and
hurt in that fight.
Takes me well past full.
That's good.
Okay.
If I'm injured and you guys are fine, it means I'm doing my job.
It does. However,
Yeah.
if Randus needs more healing surges,
it looks like, at least according to my notes, I used other healing options.
all right,
So,
because my surge supply is still plentiful.
but I will spend 1 just to top me off.
All right. So you guys go lean up on the still extant wall of one of the buildings.
Whichever one looks most like the drugstore, we'll just lean on the front of it.
Yeah, you guys loiter for about 5 minutes.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Mm-hmm. Snoot, snoot, snoot.
So what do you guys do?
I feel like, did we figure out that we were probably in the same zone as the tower now?
No,
Oh, yeah, I think
Oh,
we've got
okay.
a long ways to go.
no, you guys
But I
are
think-
like in a. You guys aren't. You guys are like closer to the tower, but not in a direct linear way. It's just the district that you're in now is closer than the last district.
Great.
And we figured out
we-
that the general orientation of the districts is such that if we go the right direction, we won't go into the next district, but we seem to be proceeding in the correct axis.
Oh yeah, we figured out that it was like a side scroller, basically. Like that at a certain
So-
point we wrap around.
right. If we hit a
Pac-Man
water
this
level,
thing.
I'm out.
Yeah, if you are traveling east to west, you will enter the next district from the east. But that doesn't actually mean that district is necessarily closer or really anything. It could just be, literally any other district. You guys still
Lovely.
don't know how the districts here work.
Man.
I'm sure it's very convenient if you know where you're going.
Probably.
All right. Well then, I think I'll try to use Streetwise as best I can to look out for any sort of indicators of something like street signs that would make it in any way clear how this works. Or if not, maybe look out for some friendly halflings that might be able to help us figure out how to get to the next district, and then we will follow their map verbatim this time, as opposed to trying to take shortcuts that really don't work.
Okay.
I will assist on that front.
Okay.
I wonder if there are any spirits that I could talk to who might be able to tell us how to get there.
You want to roll nature?
I think I do.
Okay.
I mean, seeing as how I went to all the trouble of having one and all.
Nice set of rules.
Yeah. We bad.
All right. So what did you guys actually roll?
I rolled Streetwise, as did, I assume, Kat.
Yep.
What'd you get?
I got a
I have a-
42, but I was assisting, so
I have a 49.
So 51.
Yep.
And Matthew, you got a 45.
45 for nature, yep.
We'll do that first. Well, I guess they can both happen more or less simultaneously. Ket and Little Sparkle start walking down the way and looking at the street signs and the buildings and see if you can basically draw some sort of conclusion from the way that the streets are laid out, and also keeping a lookout for people. When Sakar closes his eyes and presses his hand against the ground to check for any active spirits, you sort of you sense a line of spiritual energy. And if you sort of follow it, not necessarily physically, but if you try to extend your senses to follow it, you see that there are other lines of spiritual energy. And they, for example, two of them cross perpendicularly somewhere over there, maybe a couple blocks over.
And does it seem like I can tell something? I'm good at this.
What's the question?
Does there seem to be any sort of directionality or any sort of specific interaction to them that I can see?
Yeah,
Yes.
They do seem to, the energy does seem to be moving in a particular direction for both of them, and it's significant that they cross.
Okay. I impart this information to everyone, and I think we should go see what happens where they cross and see if it actually is the point where the transition takes place.
Okay.
Seems reasonable.
Everybody goes that way?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. You walk about 2 blocks, and as you approach, Sakar sees where he would expect the nexus of those 2 points to be. And from a while away, you can tell that it's another fountain.
Does it seem to be actively spewing ghosties like the old one?
It is now.
Oh, crap. Run over and turn it off.
I guess, yeah. If he actually is running, I'm following.
All right, you guys run over to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Sakar and Randus are overwhelmed by a wave of ghosties.
Son of a monkey.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Can we try to bail them out, or like, does it look like is it even more than the last time?
I mean, it's about as many as the last time. It seems to have like about the same output. So, if you're gonna try and turn this off, you should expect like a similar expenditure of resources as last time.
Oh god.
Okay.
Oh, boo. Does there like seem like there was like an area that we could run to?
Yep, this area is pretty open.
All right, she'll just say, just run away. We can, if you could try to avoid these places, if that's what they are.
So I think we need to run away.
Okay.
So they run heroically in and run unheroically back.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and spend 2 healing surges for Randus and Sakar.
Done.
That's a lot of healing surges.
Yeah.
Wait, how many have I got?
I believe you got plenty.
37. Okay, I'm good.
That's
right.
probably your healing surge value.
No,
No,
his
that's
search value is way higher than that.
All right.
True.
Yeah.
But knowing where those are,
We should be able to avoid them.
Yep. So once again, I'm going to see if I can see more of them by interacting with the island.
Okay. While you're running?
If I can find a place to not be running. I presume they're chasing us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, especially now that they're aware of you and I guess have tasted your blood. So yeah, they're way into killing you now. So you've got,
delicious.
At least a dozen little like halfling wraith monsters chasing you guys.
Hmm.
All right, then I'm gonna try to navigate the streets and like look out for a way that I can find a relatively safe place to lose them.
Okay.
Will help.
Okay.
I have a 40 streetwise check,
Mine is a 33.
so that makes it a 42.
Perfect.
Yep, you guys are able to make your way to an abandoned building, and you guys manage to basically turn the corner fast enough that most of these things, or all of these things, like run past the entrance of the building.
Okay.
Okay. Let's
So
try
now-
that again more carefully.
Agreed. Now I'm going to
Let's-
try again.
Not charge into enemies again.
Noted. All right. So, am I checking nature again in order to try and do this again, or does the previous roll stick?
I'd be willing to just let the previous roll stick. Yeah, you can sense where these lines are, and there is no direction that you can go where you're not going to run into more of this, because basically it's a grid. So there are places, it's not a super tight grid, so there are places like this one where you are relatively far from any given fountain or from the 4 nearest fountains.
Right.
But there's definitely more of them.
Okay. Were those wraiths? Were they minions that we could knock down easily, but they got right back up?
Correct. They were basically they were endless
continue,
minions.
Yeah, they continue spewing out of the fountains.
Okay. So
and
more
for the
Wraiths,
for the
not so much.
purposes of the challenge, if you beat one, a new one would spawn.
Mhm.
But narratively, they just continually spawn, or at least they seem to.
Okay. So we're surrounded by fountains of halflings. Does there seem to be any source? Is there like something like an underground, I don't know, spiritual aqueduct, if you will?
I mean, you're
Or
pretty sure it's like a
aquifer
literal.
is probably the word.
Yeah, there are like literal pipes below the ground that are feeding the fountains.
Hmm.
So what if we mess with the pipes?
Hmm.
Well, I don't know about anyone else, but I don't know that I'm up for that battle 4 or 5 or 10 or however many more times.
No, certainly not. The architecture here is pretty low to the ground, right? Like we couldn't maybe avoid these things by going up.
Potentially, yeah.
Parkour.
We could try roof running, steer clear, stay above the grid, try to, presumably they're triggered by proximity in some fashion.
Are we all capable of that?
I face step on the roof of the closest building.
Okay. Orin pops over. There is a like full medium-sized humanoid wraith on there.
I pop
Who,
away.
Oh,
looks over and screams. And if Sakar is still connected to the pipes, he can feel them pump pretty hard.
Sparkle just puts her head in her hand and shakes her head.
Kettle patter on the back.
What part of not running into things did you not understand? That it also applied to you, not just Randus and Sakar.
I was scoping the area out.
In his defense, he didn't run.
She scopes the area out.
You guys start hearing some claws on the walls.
Let's move again.
We move.
okay.
All right. When you go to open the door, before you can get to it, it collapses, and a bunch of little wraiths burst through. Obvious exits are up the stairs and out the back.
Did you see any other? How many wraiths did you see up top, Orem?
Just the one that screamed at me.
Yep.
There's
Up the
fewer
stairs?
up there. Let's go up.
We go up.
Okay. As you guys go up, you can see a couple of windows. One of them pointing in the direction that Orem said the other wraith was. Another one sort of perpendicular to that. So one of them, let's say, points north. The other one points east. Yeah.
We go west.
Can we go west?
Well, there's no window there.
Oh, I see.
There might be a roof access if you want to go like up some more.
Which way is the tower at this point?
The tower is, I believe we said east.
All right. Well, she'll say, let's go east. Maybe we can just get out of this district.
All right.
Reasonable.
After you.
Okay.
All right. Who's jumping out the window?
I will jump out the window and try to do like a roguey tumble into stealth. Like the ninja I am.
Okay. Give me an athletics check.
Wait, not acrobatics?
No. So the building on the opposite side is like taller than this building. So you basically have to jump onto the building and then climb up or down to either get to the back to the ground or up to the roof.
Do we know that before she leaps?
You can know that before you leap, yeah.
All right, then
Because you're basically just looking at a wall that's, I don't know, what's a reasonable distance for two buildings to be apart from each other, like
12 feet.
20 yards?
12 feet.
okay.
7,000 feet.
20 yards is
I'm not.
pretty
Then-
far.
Then she'll be
Pretty
like,
far.
Sakar, do
So
you think you
15
can clear
yards.
that?
We'll split the difference.
Yes. So if we know that it's going to be a running, jumping, climbing trees thing, that looks like a Sakar thing. So I will jump out the window.
Okay.
I'll toss him like a rope so that he can maybe make it easier for us to follow.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
go ahead and
toss a
give me an
rope to
athletics
him,
check.
not toss him like a rope. That would be painful. 44.
Okay. 44 is a success. You jump over and your pointy fingers dig into the rock that the
Nice.
building is made out of.
And I'll scrabble up the side of the building like the baby from Train Spotting
Oh,
Okay.
gross.
and find a place to like secure the line so that everyone else can follow.
All right.
Do I see anything that looks like it's ghostly and wanting to eat me?
Not on this building, but you do see that there are about evenly spaced out those like screaming wraiths.
Okay. So I'm going to stay low and try and be as stealthy as I can, which is to say Sakar stealth.
Yeah, they don't immediately see you. They
Okay.
are kind of focused on the swarm that's currently chewing through the first floor of the building.
Can't you turn invisible?
I can turn invisible, but you can't.
I say it's only going to help for a short time.
Also, he can only turn invisible when he hits something, I think.
And I think it's like once a day.
Yeah. So, okay. Now, the rest of you, if you want to climb over to where Sakar is, get a +2 for an equipment bonus.
Well, that's better than not having the +2.
Is it close enough to face step or no?
Well, it would be, but it's the same scene.
Ah, okay. So what are we doing?
Now, am I-
Acrobatics +2?
Athletics +2.
No.
Am I allowed to help them?
The I forget what the feat is called, but if you have the feat that lets you roll 2 dice for acrobatics, you also can roll 2 dice for athletics. It does both.
Yeah, agile athlete.
Yep, agile athlete.
I do not have that. All right. Well, fun.
Hold on, that's not right. 31.
31. Let me check my TCs. Okay. So Orm goes first. Grabs onto the rope and tries to clamber up, but his foot slips. When basically as he's like going to meet the rock, his foot slips and he falls
Oh, no, I regret nothing.
into a swarm of wraiths.
They're embracing me with their cold touch.
Jump.
I already tried to roll, so I will try to basically leap down despite his misfortune. I've got a 35.
35?
Yep.
Okay. You're trying to like jump down and save him?
Yeah, at least hopefully to get him out of this situation.
You jump down and you just really don't quite gauge the height right, and you
Mhm.
land pretty hard.
Ugh.
And pretty soon you're swarmed with wraiths.
Yeah. Also, try to leap down and help.
All right. When Randus is getting ready to leap down and help, as you guys see Little Sparkle and Orem disappear under a wave of ghosties. You see Randa sees a flash of light, and suddenly a lot of the wraiths seem to ignite with a sort of orangey, like a reddish orange fire, and then they like disintegrate with a loud pop.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Can we tell on the ground what caused that?
No, you can kind of see it happening, but eventually you can see what happened, as essentially it happens again twice, and more of these things disintegrate. And when they disintegrate, they're like, it's like a solid burst of energy. Like it kind of knocks you down if you're too close to it, but it doesn't actively harm you. And the flashes of fire are coming from the same direction, and eventually enough of these wraiths are cleared that you see two people. It's two dwarves, two female dwarves. One of them has red hair, which she has up in a bun. The other one has brown hair, which she has in a thick braid. They are both wearing sort of leather style armor, and they have each of them has two big tanks strapped to their backs, and they are holding in essence a big nozzle that is connected via a hose to the tanks. And as they blast the things off of Orem and Little Sparkle, the people above hear one of them say, "Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get out of here." Orem and Little Sparkle here like, because they just got a bunch of wraiths like burst like right next to their ears.
Tinnitus.
Teleport down and grab them.
Okay. Like get under somebody's shoulder, or
yeah. I'll help Sparkle up and pull Orem.
Okay.
Point to the two dwarves that saved our butts.
Yeah, I'll say probably too loudly, "Thanks for the save!" and go run after wherever they're gesturing.
Okay. What's everyone else doing?
I will follow.
Yeah.
I will
him
leap
up.
down all Nightwing and land and follow.
Okay.
Because I can
All
do
right.
that.
Sure. All right, you guys start running, and one of the dwarves gets in front of you, and the other one gets behind you. And the one in front will like burst her flamethrower thing to get any wraiths out of the way, and the one behind you is just like constantly like backtracking and flaring it out because you guys have like a wave of wraiths like on your tail.
No.
But it looks like not only do these flames destroy them, but under the right circumstances, they can cause a chain reaction. So one of them will get hit hard and fast enough, and it'll blow up, like maybe the two closest to them.
Dang.
So
Can we
they're
tell at this speed what that flame is?
huh?
Can we tell
Oh.
at this speed if it's just regular flame or?
Well, it's clearly not regular flame.
Okay.
But what do you think that flame is?
Holy energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like some sort of radiant fire thing.
Yeah. Like radiant flamethrowers.
Okay.
Ignited
Um,
holy water.
Huh?
Holy
being stupid.
Molotov cocktails.
That's what happens when you squeeze a holy hand grenade onto a juicer. All right, so you guys continue to run as they clear a path, and eventually, the waves of wraiths subside, which makes you think that you've probably crossed districts at some point.
Look for the tower.
Yeah, it's definitely in a different place.
Well, thank you for that.
Whew, yeah, no problem.
Are you natives?
What? No.
Oh, who are you?
I'm Fitzy, and this is Gert.
Well, what brought
Hi.
you here? Sorry, I'm Little Sparkle. Thanks for bailing us out.
Oh, yeah, I know. You guys don't remember us? Dwarf War?
Oh,
I mean, we were special troops.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, it's really good to see you. Sorry. It's been a long bit.
It's been a long time, Gert. Of course they don't remember us. They were like busy doing other things. They're not going to keep track of everyone. Like, I'm just saying, maybe they did
that's
remember
the stuff,
us.
The stuff from that you gathered, that was generated that killed the race there. That's what you're spraying on them.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Wait, how long ago was the dwarf war now?
How long ago was that? A couple months?
Yeah, time's really breaking down.
Couple months doesn't sound too bad. I don't think.
I don't remember. I feel like it's been much less than that.
Well, that was the
It
second
probably
tower,
has
was
been
it
less
not?
than that, but probably not by much. That was the second place you went.
Oh yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, we spent some time in a boat.
Yeah. And without the solenoid, the boat travels.
Yeah, I forgot that the boat travels were kind of slow. Well, thank you. So yeah, what brought you here then? Are you part of the? You're not obviously not part of Ket's forces. So how do you know to be here right now, or how long have you been here?
Well, we got here yesterday, I guess. This like little ninja told us that you guys were planning an assault, so Albrecht and the leadership decided to send some ships.
Well, thank you, Salath. That's great. So have you? We are lost and trying to get. Can I see the tower from here?
Yeah.
To the tower, but we can't figure out how to navigate this place, and we keep getting attacked by everything.
Oh yeah, we're lost too. We got separated
okay.
from our detachment, so we've been trying to make our way back.
Well, we're headed to the lighthouse because that's where the overall engagement is going.
Okay, and you guys know how to get. You guys don't know how to get there, is what you're saying.
Don't know exactly how to get there, but it's that direction.
Well, you guys seem pretty capable, so how about we just stick with you guys, and we'll help you if you need anything.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Excellent.
Hopefully can keep you safe, and you can keep us from getting covered in wraiths again.
Yeah, no problem.
Does this district seem to have any wraiths?
It doesn't. You guys have found your way to an alley. The buildings here are made of these small, sort of yellowish stones, kind of like maybe like small limestone bricks.
Oh God, it's Western Kansas.
Yep.
Everyone
Well,
run.
If it's Western Kansas, they would probably be massive limestone bricks.
That's true, but it'd be flat, so you know.
That's the style, yeah. Yep, limestone bricks, cobblestones. Below you now that you look at it, it does have a different architecture than the last place you were. There are not, you don't see any wraiths, but you guys specifically made your way to some place where that you could, get behind some cover. And then no more wraiths kept coming.
I wonder, do we suppose it's safe to try another look around, check the sites, check the spirits, look for signage?
We seem safe. You should check for wraiths.
All right. I will check for wraiths.
Okay. There do not appear to be any wraith pipes here.
Okay.
I will check
there
for
appear-
signage.
Yeah.
I will help with that.
All right. When you guys come out of this alley, you find yourselves in a busy marketplace. There's lots of stalls. People are buying, all kinds of wares, fruit, fish, pottery, weapons, all kinds of stuff. Everybody here seems pretty ritzy. Their robes are nice. There's a lot of silk and a lot of sort of high-end materials, lots of jewelry.
What sort of creatures are they?
Halflings?
Lots of halflings, yes. Halflings, humans, orcs.
Oh, okay.
At one point, you guys actually spot something that you might not realize what it is until you realize that it's a very cleaned up Gith who's not they're
trying to kill us.
Skin tight yellow, they're tiny amounts of yellow fur growing out of their weird bumpy skin is clean shaven and oiled forehead, looks kind of shiny, wearing some nice robes, some jewelry.
Wow.
And scattered here and there, walking through the crowd, you guys also spot some Asmodean soldiers.
Yeah.
Saw that coming.
Is there a more kind of Asmodean iconography on the people who are just wandering around? This is where the loyalists hang out?
Can I do an insight check on the soldiers to see if they are actively looking for things, or?
You don't have to. They're patrolling. Okay. They're monitoring. And you also don't have to make a check. These, you would imagine, you've seen a little Sparkle's seen an occupation before, and there's always at least one caste that is, rolling with it, and it's usually the upper caste.
Yep.
So that's kind of what this looks like. Yes, this is there's a bunch of people going about their business, buying things, saying this is fine in several different languages. All of which little Sparkle can understand.
Yeah. She'll try to duck back in where we were.
Okay. What's up?
We
More
found
ghosts?
a market full of collaborators and Asmodean soldiers.
Oh. Fitzy looks at her flamethrower.
Yeah,
Cat
probably not
put a
our
hand on the
best bet to try
flamethrower.
to fight through it.
Oh, okay.
Save that for last resort.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to blend in.
Well,
They
I can try.
adjust their goggles and wipe some soot off of them.
Brandis, do you have an extra
Going to be
cloak?
at all possible?
It might be possible if you guys try very hard to get by undetected.
Okay.
Did we ever get a hold of some extra hats of disguise?
No.
I don't think we did.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Do we
either.
have a trench coat that they
I
could...
would say, does
I mean-
Randus have any extra clothes? Because those should cover up the giant tanks at least.
I mean, between like the 5 of you, you guys can probably scrounge together some like hats and cloaks
Sure.
so that, now instead of somebody being like, look, a dwarf with a flamethrower, they'll be like, look, a refrigerator with a hat. I mean, they wouldn't do that in a fantasy world, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Yes. I am an ogre.
All right. Well, I would like to try to basically use bluff, since I guess there's no disguise in this edition, to try to make everyone look as I don't know, fancy and fit-inable as possible.
Sounds good.
I get to use my ring.
What ring is that?
The one we got in the anti-burb place.
Ah, cool.
From the Dream Quills?
Yes.
Oh, what does it do?
He's always been able to use it. It's just it has an additional thing that happens when you've hit a milestone.
You-
Exciting.
He hasn't been able to use it optimally, therefore it's been dead to Rob.
Yeah.
Precisely.
That's fair. Yeah, mine also has a kicker for milestones. I've just I always get greedy and use it before I hit the milestone.
It happens.
So would my +5 to bluff work in this situation?
Your +5 to bluff could work in this situation. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if Sakar, like, tucks in his gut and spends some time, like, putting some color back in his cheeks. But go ahead and roll, Sam. Go ahead and roll the bluff check.
Should we roll initiative first, or should I just go for the
Just go
skill
ahead
challenge?
and roll.
Okay, cool. I have a 43 bluff check.
43 is a success.
Woo!
You are able to disguise the dwarves in such a way that they don't immediately call attention to themselves. Who's next?
I can go next.
Okay.
I'll are we walking through this area, or what's the ultimate goal? To get to the other side?
Yes, presumably to get out of this district, hopefully in the direction you guys want to go, and to not be spotted by the opposition.
All right. I will use some of my arcana with some prestidigitation to make it sound like some people are dropping money. Like some coins have fallen out of a purse, so that people kind of look to see, oh, is that my money or is it somebody else's money? Should I be picking up money? And see if that will distract some people.
I like that.
Is that a ghost sound situation?
It can be ghost sound. Yeah, it can be ghost sound.
Okay. You're wanting to roll arcana?
Yep.
Now go ahead.
33, not very high.
Not very high indeed. That is not going to be a success.
Boo.
Oh, no.
Gonna take the F.
I think at this point, yeah.
Okay.
Remember, we all do have our action points.
Yep. Who's next?
I'll go next.
I think. Okay, you go.
I'm excited. I get to use my thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna use Streetwise to just help us navigate through the people.
Okay.
So it is, and I'm gonna use the Star Ruby Ring. Free action uses power in making a charisma-based skill check during a skill challenge. I can roll twice and take the better result.
Sounds good.
That'll be a 39.
39's a success.
39 is 2 successes because we reached a milestone
39
today.
is 2 successes because you reached a milestone today.
Yay! 8 years you've been hacking that thing around, and now you can use it.
It's happened before.
I know.
Yeah.
10 levels.
If I don't make fun of Rob, am I even playing D&D? I mean,
Yeah, what
You make
even
some
is the point?
right, it's a tree
Who's-
falling with situation.
Ket very quickly figures out where the darkest awnings and loudest callers are, and either uses them or avoids them to move everybody through the crowd.
Nice.
Who's next?
That'd be me.
Okay.
I'm going to make a case here, and I think you're gonna see where I'm going.
Okay.
Okay. So, before stepping into the crowd, Sakar is going to put his hands together, close his eyes, and focus every ounce of his strength and energy into not looking like the wild and crazy post Great Tiger Sakar. In fact, he's going to tense every muscle in his body, and he's going to literally change his form as athletically as possible. He's going to hold this incredibly tense musculature so that he looks like a slightly less intimidating version of the old school, season 4 Bishonen Sakar that we all knew and loved, and does not look in any way weird or red-eyed or fangly or vampire-y. And it's going to take every ounce of his physical energy to do this and cross this plane and be unnoticed as possible.
Okay.
In an athletic fashion.
And I feel like you're wanting to use athletics for this?
I think so.
Okay. No. I mean,
how's your endurance?
Heck of a try.
My endurance
might
is
allow
for crap.
endurance if you want, but this is definitely a bluff check. This is what bluff does, and specifically what your racial traits bluff does.
Here's the thing. Both my bluff and my endurance are such that even with the +5, I think it would require a nat 20 to
Isn't
actually
it a +10
hit.
to bluff?
I have a +17 to bluff.
Yeah, but if you're pretending to be human, you get an additional +10, don't you?
+5, I thought. Or does it go up at a higher level?
I don't think it goes up, but I remember it being pretty high.
Let's look.
Maybe it's pretty high at low levels.
I'm pretty sure it's a +5, or at least it was for the time that I figured out what was happening.
Yep, you're right.
It's a +5 on the sheet.
Yep.
So basically, it would be a +22. I can try it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not... A +22 is respectable. Ket succeeded with a +25.
Okay. But I can't roll 2 dice if it's that. So I probably need to change that. All right. I'm going to try to do all that stuff, apparently in a not athletic way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I pleaded my case well. And be incredibly sneaky and totally not a terrible, fangly, monstrous guy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to totally hose it.
Oh, no.
That's a 25.
I mean, I guess you could have gotten to roll 2 dice with athletics, but if you'd roll the 3, there wasn't much room for you to succeed. Yeah. Would you like to spend an action point to re-roll that?
I think I would.
Okay. Also, this is a bluff check. Does anybody have a re-roll for him?
I do have a re-roll for him.
You have a free re-roll for me?
Yes, I can empathic read. An ally fails a bluff diplomacy or intimidate check. Target rerolls the check and uses either result.
Oh, this is a freebie.
Yeah.
I got a 4 this time.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
Crap cakes. What is wrong with my dice? Okay. So,
action point or take the X?
What do you think, guys? Can we afford to take the 8s?
Not now.
Yeah, I'd action point since if you can. Or I don't know. I mean, I would, because at this point we don't really want 2 losses right off the bat.
Right. If I action point now, I have to do the same thing, correct?
Yep. It's just a reroll of the same thing.
All right. This really does take tons of concentration and
apparently
all of Sakar's energies for a 33.
Nope.
33 is still not going to get you there, unfortunately.
Murderous platypus bard. Okay. So I have failed.
So Sakar does an excellent job of subsuming his vampiric traits and looking a lot like a normal person, except for the fact that it takes so much effort that he looks like sweaty, nervous, and suspicious, and catches the eye of a guard who starts kind of moving through the crowd towards you guys. And that's going to take us to Randus.
I'm thinking, could I use religion to try to talk up some sort of Asmodean dogma or scripture to try to convince him that we're on the guard, that we're on their side, and he probably maybe not want to deal with us because we might be some sort of crazy inquisitorial undercover investigators or something.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
I mean, if you're telling me that what you want to do as a guard starts approaching you is instead of moving away from him, you want to walk over and talk to him, then yes, absolutely, I will let you do that.
Would I be able to try to roll religion to do so?
I'll let you do it with religion, yeah.
I'll give it a go.
Is this a Randus distracts them while we all get away thing?
It might be.
Okay.
Even though I think it don't really matter when this is the last. Or if it's the final failure.
Well, you've got at least one reroll.
You got an action point. You've got an action point.
There you go, a 50.
50?
That'll do it.
That's not a failure.
Yeah, 50 is a success. All right. So, yes, before this guy can make it to the group, Randus pulls out some paper and a quill and starts writing and just walks right over to him. Gives him like a weird secret salute, which like at first confuses him. And then he's like, oh, and like just, you guys see him as you're moving away, Randus talking to him. He like signs these papers and hands them to him. And the soldier looks confused for a second and then just turns in completely the opposite direction and seems to head probably towards wherever their garrison is.
Nice.
Don't think that'll cover us for long. We should probably get out of here.
Yep. All right. Second round.
Old code
Possibly.
still checked out.
All right. That's going to take us to Little Sparkle.
Cool. Then yeah, can I try to use Streetwise to come up with like the most the best path for us to try to avoid as many people as possible and get out of this market? Or stealth, I'd accept that too if that's possible, but basically just trying to lead the way to
Yeah, it's the issue is that that's more or less what Rob did. If you can frame it as some other thing that would take up Streetwise,
sure.
I'd be more
fair enough.
Or or if you wanted to use another skill, of course you could do that too. Like you guys are already on a pretty good path. And in fact, so good a path that it made up for at least one of your whiffs.
That's fair. All right, yeah, because you did a double one. I could do maybe like diplomacy. Like try to again cause like something, going with Rob's go. Trying to like converse with someone to give our less or more obvious people a way to get past like a checkpoint or like someone who looks like savvy.
You're gonna
try to like pretend like I'm buying something or maybe even actually buy something. Who knows?
You gotta go buy them some better clothes.
Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. I'll try to like improve their disguises on the fly.
Okay. Yeah, you can give me a diplomacy check to haggle.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Very
I've
nice.
got a
If that
41.
card decides to come back, we'll be wearing something different.
41 is a success.
Sweet.
You guys definitely upgrade your dwarves from walking refrigerators to eccentric out-of-towners.
I'll take it.
Which will take us to Orem.
All right. As I'm walking through the plaza, it's pretty crowded, I'm sure. So as people are getting in the way, I will, do some nice little spins. So like if someone's right in front of me, I kind of just do a little spin around them and find an open spot using acrobatics, and I can kind of do that and weave through the marketplace without attracting too much attention.
That would be a function of streetwise.
All right. Then what can I use for acrobatics then?
Almost nothing that's not going to draw attention to itself.
Nothing that's not going to draw attention.
Start juggling.
I could, but that might draw attention to us.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Because otherwise,
good at?
History's not going to help us here, and I've already used Arcana, so. Yeah, I got Stealth and Religion and Thievery are my next ones, but those are only at 22.
That's not great.
Nope. So
Are any of those skills that Rob can reroll for you, or is that
I think it's only bluffs.
Counter power.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So let's see. Oh, Corlon in my pocket. Please help us get out of this mess that we find ourselves in with religion.
Okay.
42, nat 20.
All right.
Oh my god.
It seemed to work.
Orem puts his hand in his coin purse and holds onto the Coralon gem, closes his eyes and prays, and that really serves to kind of relax him. He doesn't look as worried. He's not trying so hard to flitter and dodge and roll between people in the crowd. He just kind of starts walking like a normal person while he does this, and it definitely helps for him to not draw attention.
Hooray!
Now, was there some divine
you,
influence in that? We may never know.
May never know till we get Coralon out of this gym.
Yep. All right. That's going to take us to Cat.
Oh boy. I'm gonna go with insight to read the crowd, see if there is anybody paying attention to us, is anything that we need to be more aware of than we currently are.
Okay.
$56.
56 is a success.
I mean, even if you rolled a 2, you would have succeeded.
I know. What? Insight's my best skill, okay?
Yep. Show off.
Oh, it's down to Matthew this time.
I mean, if you didn't... I would say there have been people who have noticed you. And that's going to be a problem later, but you don't, basically no one that's going to do anything immediately is noticing you. This is more of someone on the street notices you and they'll possibly try to get some money from the Asmodeans to tell them, that you went by here, or, shopkeepers might notice you, and if somebody interrogates them later, they'll tell them, but if nobody prompts them, they won't. All right, so that's going to take us to Sakar as as the edge of the district appears to draw near.
So attempting to watch the people would A, be exactly what Rob just did, and B, an insight check, not my perception, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So what if, as we are about to exit the district, as we're coming to the edge of the district, there's a knot of people or creatures and a really shiny gith? And what if those gith are just standing there in a way that's, infuriating when you're at the Safeway? And you just wish that you could somehow command nature to blow a hot wind right through the middle of them and just force them to step apart because of this strange hot wind that comes out of nowhere in a very natural way, a natural nature to this wind, if you see what I'm saying.
I'll allow it.
You'll allow it? All right. Because this is a good score for me, and I'm not going to lose this one for us. I feel like I've won us 1 and I've lost us 2, so this could break me even. 45.
45 is success.
Little Scirocco comes out of nowhere and parts the crowd like the Red Sea.
Yep. A lot of people chase after their hats, and people are pushing down their robes. But yep, you guys, or Sakar manages to make enough of a pathway for you guys to walk through the crowd at the edge of the marketplace. It's kind of obvious, so a guard starts moving towards you, but he's pretty far away, and there's a lot of crowd between him and you.
Hooray! We escaped.
Let's get out while the getting's good.
Yeah, let's come back next week and see what happens. Thanks everybody for joining us this week. Hopefully you had some fun. Hopefully you were on the edge of your seat like we were, and be sure to come back next week to see if we make it through the next district with our new friends Gert and Fitzy, and hopefully we'll get closer to that tower next time. And let's also hope that all of our dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2020 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.